People often ask me, Isabelle, Enneagram or astrology, which is better? And to that, I always respond, Enneagram and astrology. Because actually, your Enneagram type can reveal to you how your birth chart is going to express itself. So in this video, I want to break down how your Enneagram type influences your astrological birth chart and how we can use these two systems together to create a more complete and complex picture of who you are. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabelle and today we're talking about how your Enneagram influences your chart. I'm super excited to dive into this topic because I talk about both the Enneagram and astrology usually by themselves on this channel. And yet at the same time, I use these two systems together on a day-to-day basis. And these two systems tend to have very different audiences. In a very extremified sense, astrology is considered something used by witches or even sinners in some cases, and the Enneagram has Christian roots in many ways. So usually these two systems are told to be completely far away from each other, but I've discovered that using both in conjunction have been extremely helpful for my self-growth and self-care, and it has revealed to me different aspects of my astrological birth chart to find more clarity in its expression. What I mean by that is every zodiac sign is multifaceted, and based off your Enneagram, it might express itself a little bit differently. So your Enneagram can give you more insight into how your birth chart may be more accurate. So in this video specifically, I'm going to cover what the Enneagram is, what your astrological birth chart is, in general astrological philosophy, how the Enneagram and astrology work together, and practical tips for applying both these systems together. Let's dive in. So first and foremost, what is the Enneagram? And I'm going to make this really brief because I think a lot of people who are going to be watching this video already know what the Enneagram is. The Enneagram is a personality typing system consisting of 9 different types. These 9 different types are basically created in your childhood. Your type is going to be built based off of your childhood experience and what is considered your childhood wound or childhood trauma. And this also creates a core desire and core fear based off of that core belief that was instilled in your childhood. So in the end, the key takeaway with the Enneagram is each Enneagram type has a core motivation, a desire that drives all of their actions and also dictates how they show themselves to the world, your personality. Now, what is the idea of an astrological birth chart and astrology? An astrological birth chart is the screenshot of the cosmos the moment you were born, where all the planets were in relevance to the zodiac signs, which I'm sure if you're watching this video, you already know that whole spiel. But basically, the general concept of astrology is instead of having one personality, you have a multifaceted personality where different parts of your personality need to be expressed in different areas of your life. You might be better at acting in a certain way with your one-on-one relationships, and you might be better at finding your emotions in your career or finding emotional fulfillment there. But here's the deal. Astrology can oftentimes feel like it's giving us all this information and not knowing exactly what to do with it. After all, have you ever had someone give you on either YouTube or in a personal reading and interpretation on a part of your chart going, yeah, somewhat accurate, but not really, and it really makes you think, is astrology all just woo-woo witchy girl stuff? This is where the Enneagram has came in and really helped me. So how do the Enneagram and astrology overlap? Well, here's how. Really, in the end, as much as astrology does tell us our birth chart, what our desires may be and how we can fulfill them, oftentimes it can feel like we're being pulled in 1,000 different directions, and it can feel like, how am I supposed to achieve all this? And this is where the Enneagram has served as a great tool, because our Enneagram is our core desire. And so how the Enneagram and astrology can overlap is basically imagine the Enneagram type that you have, your dominant Enneagram, is like the king in a kingdom. And all of your astrological placements are like the soldiers who go about fulfilling the wishes. Or you could say in that interpretation too, your Enneagram is the commander of an army and all of your astrological placements are the soldiers fulfilling those. So in the end, your Enneagram type can be a really great way to simplify the wisdom of your astrological birth chart to fulfill your desires. And on top of it, it does shift oftentimes how things are interpreted. The Enneagram specifically affects each zodiac sign in the sense that, as we know, as I said in my intro, each zodiac sign is multifaceted. For example, Pisces is dreamy, artistic, creative, but also idealistic. So if you are a Enneagram 2 and a Pisces, you're really going to lean into the compassion and empathy side of things. You're going to be much more considerate of a Pisces, much more gentle of a Pisces. But if you're an Enneagram 1 Pisces, your idealism is going to show itself strongly. And yes, you still might be compassionate. You're still probably empathetic, but you dominantly are going to appear and act from idealism rather than from empathy. And this applies to all the zodiac signs and all the different Enneagram types. So in the end, we can look at what our Enneagram type is, what our core desire is, and ask ourselves, if this Enneagram type was this zodiac sign, how would these traits fulfill its desire? An example for me, I'm an Enneagram 9. I have strong Gemini traits and Cancer traits in my chart, which I know in the end focuses the energy on seeking harmony and stimulus, because Enneagram 9s are known oftentimes to be hyperactive in many ways. And so I can see how the Gemini traits for me are going to play out more as hyperactivity rather than data focus. And I know that for me with the Cancer energy as a 9, it's going to focus more on harmony rather than on this selfless nurturance that is the stereotypical motherly role. So the simple way to put it is we can use our Enneagram to simplify our birth chart. It has really helped me when getting into astrology to simplify how I go about embracing each side of my personality and what in the end it serves. Because like I said, astrology can sound like a lot of theory and not really much application. So now let's talk about some practical tips on how to actually implement this knowledge, how to use the Enneagram and your astrological birth chart together for self-growth, self-care, and self-understanding. My first tip I'm going to say is take your time to actually make sure you have your Enneagram type right. Similar to a birth chart where we look at it, read the basic interpretation and go, not so accurate about my sun sign, the Enneagram is the same way. And I kid you not, I have not met a single person who has typed correctly on the first try according to a quiz. And so taking the time to understand each Enneagram type, learn about the characteristics, learn about the core desires, learn about the core childhood wounds to truly discover your true type. Second tip is, while we can use our Enneagram to simplify all of our chart, it really does play a huge factor on just two placements that I consider to be the most important, or one of the two of the most important in our chart, which is the North Node and your moon sign. I feel like we could do unlimited amount of self-growth, self-care, and self-understanding with just these two placements in our chart. And our Enneagram can help us simplify and understand what exactly they mean. So the moon sign is a pretty straightforward one to understand, but cross-reference it with your Enneagram. What is your Enneagram type's core desire, and how does that overlap with the zodiac sign? Are there certain traits of your moon sign that you feel like are not so accurate? It could be that your Enneagram type is influencing your moon sign and where you go about fulfilling this. This could also be whatever house your moon sign is in is going to tell you where you're going to better be able to fulfill your core desire based off of your Enneagram. So if my moon is in my 7th house, it's maybe easier for me to find harmony in my one-on-one relationships. Hence why I'm the SX Enneagram 9. The instinctual subtype. Your Enneagram can also help you understand your North and South Node and how to truly embrace those and how to find the healthy balance, because the Enneagram similarly has a stress and growth number, the same kind of system as the North and South Node, where there's two axes we're moving between and a general middle point we're trying to achieve. So use your Enneagram and look at your North Node and go, what is the growth of my Enneagram type and how is that similar to my North Node? And what are my stress traits? And how could that help me better understand what my South Node is all about? And finally, number 3, touching again on the idea of the Enneagram growth, there is a number that we become more like in our growth, but it's like the North Node, very hard for us to do. And so if you're struggling with your Enneagram type and getting into your growth, look to your chart and find the astrological placement that most resembles your growth number qualities. For example, for me, if my growth is an Enneagram 3 as an Enneagram 9, if I'm supposed to grow towards more achievement and drive and ambition, Capricorn energy is very similar, and my Chiron is in Capricorn. So I can do deep healing work and focus on healing my Chiron to better achieve my Enneagram 3 growth. So use your Enneagram growth, look to what your Enneagram growth number is, and use your chart as a way to better access the energy that you're supposed to be leaning into. And finally, number 4 is a bonus tip. If all of that is overwhelming, simply start with your sun sign and look at your Enneagram type, discover your Enneagram type, and look for the crossover. How does your sun sign present itself differently based off of your Enneagram type? After all, being an Enneagram 9 and an Aries seems to make no sense to people, but when you see the crossover, it makes a lot of sense. So let me know in the comments below, what's your Enneagram type? What is your sun sign? How do you interpret this crossover? And did you like this video? Will you or do you use the Enneagram and the astrology birth chart system together? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to learn more on how these two systems overlap in your unique case, book a reading down below where you get a full astrological Enneagram Myers-Briggs personality type combination reading. In 1 hour, we can dive deep into any and everything about your chart, your Enneagram, and more, so book down below. You can check out more of my offerings down in the links in the description below, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos. What do you guys want to hear about next? Do you want me to go deeper into each Enneagram type? Do you want me to go deeper into how astrology and Enneagram cross over? Let me know your questions down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name is Isabelle, and from my heart to yours, namaste.